right? SAP BI. So what is the main purpose of SAP BI? What is the main purpose of SAP BIBW? Anybody? Any guess?
From your demo, I understood it's to store large amount of data, the warehouse.
And what else? What is the ultimate goal?
And to get different kinds of report, not just current, but even old, like 5-10 years data.
Good. So basically, can I say that the main purpose of the BIBW is reporting? Can I say like this? For this purpose, we are maintaining the data warehouse and all, right? In order to analyze your company data and to take some decisions, we are going for a reporting. So the main goal of the SAP BI will be reporting, right? So reporting in the sense, basically we can create the reports, right, in the reporting. For these reports, when you execute the reports, how the data is being displayed in the report result. So what is the source for these reports? What is the source for these reports?
Data.
For data.
From where, from which components the data is being passed for these reports?
Currently we are using ECC, right?
Yeah, ECC contains the data, source data, and for this BW reports, which will be acted as a source components to provide the data. So basically SAP BI objects. Here in SAP BW is nothing but a warehouse, business warehouse. In SAP BW we'll have objects.
Krishna?
Yeah.
Your voice is echoing.
Yeah, I think someone is on speaker. Yeah, Bujiriti, are you using speakers?
No, I'm using my headset.
Okay, fine then. So here SAP BW objects will feed the data to your SAP BI reports. So over here, these objects will get the data from the source system. Source system might be ECC, flat file, Oracle, Sybase, Ingress, DB2, any kind of source system, right? This source system will feed the data to our BW objects, and upon our BW objects we can create the queries. So those queries can be called as a reports. Okay, and over here, in order to load the data from the source systems in the SAP BW, we will have these objects. As a BI consultant, our primary role is we have to create these objects, and we need to know about each and every object properties and all, right? And which object need to be used in which scenario, all those things need to be aware of. And once if you have pulled the data from the source system to the SAP BW, these objects will be the placeholders for the data which you are going to pull from source system. Now, this process we used to call it as a modeling. Okay, creation of the objects, maintenance of the objects, and data maintenance of the data warehouse. Everything will be covered under modeling. We used to call it as a modeling part. And we are saying that we used to pull the data from the source systems into PI system objects. So in order to pull that, we have a mechanism called ETL process, extraction, transformation, and load, and we used to call it as a extraction, right? So over here Objects creation deals with the modeling, creation and maintenance, and data load activities will be deals with the extraction part, and finally reporting, right? This is the reporting, and we can say like modeling is the first part and extraction is the second part, and third one is the reporting. Okay, entire SAP BI implementation projects can be divided into 3 parts. I can say like a parts like modeling area, extraction area, and then reporting. Okay, now so what exactly we will be doing in the modeling? The activities which we can do in the modeling are creation of objects or configuration of data flows for the data maintenance. Extraction, here we will have ETL process. ETL is nothing but E for extraction, T for transformation, L for loading. This ETL process will be applicable when you try to load the data from the source systems to SAP BI system. And then reporting. Here creation of reports as per the end user requirement. Okay, this is the process. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Are we good? So what exactly we are discussing now? We are just discussing about the core areas of the SAP BIBW, right? And once we are familiar with the core areas, we can deep dive into each and every area. Okay. Now, in entire our course, we will be dealing with all these areas: modeling, extraction, and reporting. Okay. And coming to the source systems, what kind of source systems will be having? The source system might be flat file, which is like a CSV files, and a source system might be database systems like Oracle, Sybase, Ingress, DB2, etc. And source systems might be data warehouse systems like Informatica, data stage like ETL tools, and we'll be having different kinds of source systems. From them we can able to pull the data into our SAP BI objects. So here, in order to pull the data from the source system, when you pull the data need to be reside in SAP BW in any one of the objects. So in order to configure these placeholders to maintain or to hold the data which we pull from the source system, we need to create those objects. So that will be dealt in modeling area, right? So coming to the modeling part. So first of all, from this source system, what kind of data we can pull? How many kinds of data we will have in general? Anybody? Any guess?
I think metadata.
Metadata, and what else?
Master data and the transaction data.
What is the difference between metadata and master data?
Metadata is the data information about the data, like the data dictionary.
Okay.
And the master data is about the transactional data, like the business partners item, contact, address, and the company, like that.
Okay.
And the transaction data is just transactions like sales transactions, warehouse transactions, purchase transactions, like that.
Okay. So wherein in technical standpoint, I can able to categorize like metadata will come under technical standpoint, and master data and transaction data will come under business standpoint. Can you say like that?
Yes.
So in this scenario, from the source system, what kind of business data we can pull into the BI system in order to analyze, to take decisions upon our business? Master data and transaction data, right?
Yes.
These are the required data which we need to analyze in the BI system. The main goal of the BI system is we used to create the reports, and these reports can be used by the end users. End user might be the company CEO, CFO, CTO, senior manager level, manager teams, right? Anybody who are the main key role persons in that company, right? Generally, if you might be knowing, like a quarterly results will be announced, right? So many companies like TCS and this different companies like Accenture, Infosys, right? They used to release their quarterly results. How much is the profit they have got when compared with the last quarter and all, right? And all these things, how they are getting. Back-end BI systems are maintaining the data. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Buchireddy and Srini, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah, now I can hear, yes.
Okay, fine. So basically, you might be knowing, like every quarter, generally the big clients, big companies, every company who are under NASCOM, they used to release their quarterly results. So every quarter they can compare the last quarter results and they can give you the percentage of hike. Like with respect to the last quarter, 20% is the increment, and profit is so and so, and loss is so and so. So all those things, how that information, how those results are coming. Any idea? Their company might be in n number of locations, right? N number of locations, and each and every location, the corresponding branches will be there, and each and every branch is running some business on day-to-day basis. So for the corresponding quarter, in order to know about entire company sales revenue and the profits, losses, and comparison with the last quarter results, and finally giving the percentage of growths, all these things, how they are getting. Can you think how they are getting?
Yeah, they have to consolidate the data into one system first, and then they can report off of it, right?
See, that is what the purpose which we are doing here in SAP BI. We will pull the data from different source systems into SAP BI system, and as a BI consultant will create the objects in SAP BI in order to maintain the consolidated data in the different components. And upon these components, we used to create the reports according to their field structure. They will just give you the report template, and according to that report template, we can create the report. And when they have executed the report, we used to make sure that the components will be filled on regular basis with the up-to-date data from the source system, right? So that is what the purpose of the SAP BI or real reporting. So wherein for these reports, generally they will use the master data and transaction data. So from the source systems, always we can pull the master data and transaction data, these two kinds of data only. Now, in order to maintain the master data, what are the components we have in SAP BI? SAP BI components to maintain the master data. These are info objects. Info objects are nothing but these are primary entities of BW system. So let's say if you take a vendor field, right? For vendor, we need to create an info object. And for if you have the customer, let's say vendor, purchase document number, quantity, unit price, sales amount, or else purchasing amount. So here, over here, if you have multiple fields in your requirement, for each and every field in SAP BI, we used to create one info object, vendor info object, purchase document number info object, quantity info object, unit price info object, like that. So for every field, we have to create one info object in SAP BI. Okay, and here for vendor, if you wanted to maintain the master data, so first of all, what is meant by master data? What is meant by master data?
Business data.
Master data is like more or less one time and undergoes very little changes every day, unlike transaction data.
Can I have an example?
Like a customer number, which is a one-time create, unlike the things that you order from him, he orders from you or something, that would be a transaction.
Very
His number, his address and all is a one-time data, so it would be under master data.
Very good, correct. So within master
So
data,
basically customer, material and the vendor, right?
exactly, absolutely. So here, can I say like master data is nothing but data which does not change frequently, right? Can I say like this? Data which does not change frequently, that kind of data we can call it as a master data, right? And here example will be like we can make it as a vendor, customer, hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Krishna.
Yeah, I think I'm experiencing some network issues. Okay, it's fine now. So vendor, customer, material, all these things we can call it as a master data. So when I say vendor, let's say, what fields we can call it as a master data? Can I say like vendor city, vendor address, vendor mobile number? These things can I call it as a master data? Can I call these things as master data? Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. We can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, fine. See here. For vendor, can we say these fields as a part of master data fields? City, address and mobile. And if we have email, can I say these fields are as part of master data fields? Let's say if I have a vendor V101, a city is let's say USA and address is so and so and mobile is so and so and email. Okay. So this data we used to call it as a master data for this vendor number. Okay. So these fields are acting as a master data, and these fields are attributes of this vendor number. Can I say like that? These fields are attributes for vendor number. To define this vendor V101, we have different attribute information. Hello, can I say like that?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
These fields are an attributes of vendor number, and these values are defining the vendor number. The values which we have entered over here, these values are defining the vendor number. Okay, and over here info objects are primary entities. For each and every field in the BW system, we have to create one separate info object. Here, in order to maintain the master data for a particular info object, we'll have three tables. Types of master data. We'll have three types of master data. One is attribute master data, and second one is text master data, and third one is hierarchy master data. Right, these three kinds of master data will be there. The information which you have seen here, this information we used to call it as a attribute master data. Okay, and if you take the same example for material, what is the master data we can able to place? What are the master data fields I can place attributes?
Material description.
Very good. So material, let's say I am maintaining only material color and size.
Okay.
Okay, and for this basically in industry practice we'll be aware of, like, every material number we used to follow one coding terminology like 11110000. Okay, and color might be brown and size might be, let's say, 20, and another material number is 32422314, and black 50. Right, so over here if you display this material number in the report output, like this material number in the report output, users can't able to understand what exactly this material is mean. Right, 11110000 might be, this might be bolt, 32422314, this is might be nut. Right, if you display the material numbers like this in the report output, so over here if you display the material numbers like this in the report output, they can't able to understand what exactly it means. Instead of this, if you display like this, material number followed by the description bold, and material number followed by nut, or else even if you did not display the material numbers, if you display the descriptions, they can able to understand what exactly it means, and the report will be meaningful and they can able to analyze. Right, so this kind of descriptions we can load as part of the text master data. Okay, for material, if you are loading any master data, you can able to load three types of master data. One is attribute master data, another one is hierarchy master data, and third one is the second one is the text master data, and third one is hierarchy master data. Attribute master data is nothing but you will be loading material number, color and size. These two are the attributes of material number. This information you will be loading via attribute master data, and the corresponding attribute master data table will be generated for the material info object. and text master data table will be generated. It can hold the descriptions of the materials. Right? This kind of data you can load into the text table. And hierarchy table, it will contains the hierarchy structure of the material. Sometimes what we'll have is we'll have multiple material groups. Okay, material groups. There might be group 1, group 2, group 3, like that. Under group 1, mat 1 and mat 2 will be there, and under group 2, mat 3, mat 4 might be there. So like this hierarchical structure will be there for the representation of the material numbers. So this kind of hierarchy master data we can load via hierarchy master data. So for this hierarchy master data table will be there. So basically when you wanted to maintain the master data for any of the object in SAP BI, you will have 3 tables. Okay, attribute master data table, text master data table, and hierarchy master data table. Right? So using this we can load the master data. So here the main concept is, in order to maintain the master data in the SAP BI, we have the components called info objects. Okay, and in SAP BI components to maintain transaction data will have DSOs. These are called as data store objects and info cubes. Okay, these 2 components will be acted as a transaction data relevant components in SAP BW. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions?
Not from my side.
Go ahead.
Krishna, there's just one doubt.
Yeah.
You said that every field becomes an info object.
Correct.
So an attribute master data would contain lot of info objects.
Correct. An info object may be an attribute of another info object.
I didn't get this part.
See, an attribute may be an info object, another info object. See, this is attribute, right? This is
Right.
For this one also we can create one info object, right?
Huh.
This info object will be acted as a attribute for this vendor.
Right.
But this is also another independent info object, which we are making this as an attribute for this vendor. And for this address also, you can able to maintain separate master data. Again, you can place sub attributes for this address.
Okay. So each one would become a different info object.
Info object, exactly.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so here info objects, basically we have 2 types. Will be 2 types. One is characteristic info object, and second one is key figure info objects. Okay, characteristic are nothing but, what is meant by characteristic info object? Which can hold alpha numeric values. Okay, key figures are nothing but this can hold numeric values. Let's say I have the data like this: customer ID, product ID, quantity, unit price, like this. Over here in these fields, so I am entering the data C101, P101, 200 and 40, C102, P102, 300, 879. So in this 4 fields, which field you can maintain as a, for which field you can create the characteristic and for which field you can create the key figure. For customer ID, will you create the characteristic or key figure?
Characteristic.
Characteristic, or because it contains the alphanumeric values. And for product ID, which info object you will create?
Characteristic.
Good. And for quantity, which info object you will be creating?
Key figure.
Key figure. And unit,
Yes.
yeah, unit price, which info object you will be creating?
Key
Key
figure.
figure.
Key figure.
But Krishna, let's say if the customer ID is 10000, something like that, only numeric, so that
Okay.
can be a key figure.
If the customer ID is contains the values like 1010000 like this only, then if you wanted to analyze some key figures information in your report, we should make this as we should create this as a characteristic info object only with the data type character. If you did not create this, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, Krishna, we
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now?
yeah. We
Can
can
you
hear
me?
you. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So basically, if you wanted to analyze your key figures in the report using this characteristic, that is nothing but for a particular customer ID, how much is the quantity he has purchased, how much is the unity he has purchased. That is nothing but via customer ID you are analyzing this quantity and unit price. In that scenario, you need to make this as a characteristic info object. Though if you enter the numerical values, system will treat this as a character values in the background.
So for a report, the major attribute is a characteristic, and parts of that attribute looks like is a key figure.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Basically, any report, we always concentrate on the key figures, right? Sales revenue. Let's say sales revenue is the key figure. So what we will be dealing with the report, we'll just analyze the sales revenues with respect to two different characteristics, right? How much is the sales revenue in a particular region? How much is the sales revenue in a particular city? How much is the sales revenue in a particular city's corresponding branch, right? And here you are applying different characteristics. If I say region and the corresponding sales revenue, so region is acting as a characteristic, right? This single sales revenue key figure you are analyzing in different directions. One is by region, one is by city, another one is by customer, and another one is by date, right? Date of transaction, like this. All these fields are acting as a characteristics. A single key figure you are analyzing in n number of directions.
So let's say in the above, like the customer ID, product ID, quantity, and unit price, right?
Yeah.
If we want to analyze how many of our products sold at a rate of 40 unit price, right? Then you have to make unit price also as a characteristic then.
Can you come again with the query?
Yeah. So let's say if you want to find how many of our products sold, which has cost of $40, like how many of them sold at the rate of 40, then you should make the unit price also as a characteristic.
No, here you are saying that unit price equal to 40, but you are not analyzing with respect to this, right? You are analyzing with respect to product IDs, right? How your backend query will be select star from, in general, like select star from a particular table. Here you are pulling select product IDs from particular table where this key figure unit price is equal to 40. So over here you are pulling this information product ID where this condition you are applying this just condition with respect to unit price. You are not analyzing the data, you are applying the condition and you are getting the product values, right? So here unit.
No, yeah, just one second. So can I say select unit price where customer, like, hold on. So I'm trying to get unit price where the customer ID is this one. So I cannot say that. Okay, I think I got it, but
right. So by basic a thumb rule, all the quantity and the amount relevant fields, we can call them as a key figures. This is the thumb rule.
Krishna, can I say that key figures are generally for which you would need totals or summations,
Yes,
or numeric analysis?
For calculations basis, basically.
Yeah, calculation. So though my customer ID would be only numbers, doesn't make sense totaling them.
Can you come again?
So I said though my customer ID would only be a digit, it doesn't make sense totaling them or something. So they would be characteristics.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So Buchrit, basically here, all the quantities and amount relevant fields, we can call them as a key figures by default. Right.
Yeah.
And all the characteristics, by seeing this characteristic, immediately can be able to understand. If I place material, will it be characteristic or key figure?
It should be characteristic.
Always, right? With respect to material, we can able to analyze the data. And if I place any date relevant field, can able to analyze the key figures using the date?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Date can be called as a characteristic field.
Characteristic, yeah.
Right? So with respect to a particular field, if I can able to do the analysis of my key figures, then those fields I can make it as a characteristic. Right? And key figures are nothing but these are measurable. Very simple. See, I can take one more thing. Key figures are measurable. Now you can tell. Product ID, is it measurable?
No.
Material, measurable?
No.
No, right? Unit price, is it measurable?
Yeah.
Right? You can measure it using currency. And quantity, is it measurable?
Yeah.
You can measure by units, either kgs, grams. Okay, so unit quantity can be measurable. The quantity can be measured in grams, kilograms, pascals, like that. Right? All the measurable fields we can call them as a key figures. Right? And all the alphanumeric values which can hold, those can be called as a characteristic. Though you can maintain the numeric values, system can treat them as a characteristic values in the background. Okay. Any questions with respect to info objects? Any questions?
No.
Are we good so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in this session we have seen the basic goal of the SAP BI, right? And the different areas or parts of the SAP BI implementation project, and the types of data which we can load from the source system, and for the master data, what are the SAP BI components will have, and for the transaction data, what are the components will have in SAP BI. And for master data, we use info objects. In info objects are two types. One is characteristic, another one is key figures. Characteristics are nothing but can hold alphanumeric values, and key figures are nothing but which are measurable and which can hold only numeric values where we can apply the calculations and all. Right.
You said info objects are only used for master data? No, right? Even for the transactional data we use it.
Even for transaction data also we can use info objects. Yeah. Basically a field, wherever if you wanted to place a field there in SAP BI, we used to call it as info object. We need to create info object. quantity is info object, unit price is info object, right? Material is info object, right?
So looks like all master data, not the values, but master data characteristics are really characteristics.
Correct.
And then the values are key figures.
Exactly. We can say like that. For every characteristic field, you can able to maintain the master data, but not for key figures. So you can say like key figures contain only values, numbers, and characteristics will contain alphanumeric values or master data relevant fields. We can say like that. Okay. Clear? Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
Krishna.
Yeah. Just give me a second. Yeah. So, yeah, you're asking something, Buchiriti?
No, I did not say anything.
Okay. So basically info objects are two types. One is characteristic, another one is key figures. Okay. And for every characteristic object, we can able to maintain the master data. Okay. Any questions so far?
Yeah, just one thing, like in the source systems, right?
Mm.
Is there any way to enter data directly into BW system, or do you have to have a source system to get the data into BW?
No, we have to have a source system. Definitely. We can't able to directly post the data in the BI system.
Or you cannot create like a selection screen and post it into BW?
No. It is not possible.
Okay. So that means you have to create a flat file and then post it.
Yes. If you wanted to post like that, you need to create a flat file and post. Okay. Any questions, Srini and Hema?
No, there was just one doubt. I thought that info objects are created only for master data, not for transaction. But I guess they are created for both.
For both, yes.
Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah.
Okay. Srini, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Muchreddy and Hema, do you have any further questions?
No, Krishna, I'm fine.
So are we good with this space? Can you able to understand what I'm explaining?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, perfect. So thank you team, and let's connect tomorrow at the same time. Okay. And I'll share you this notepad. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you so
bye.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.